if they're going to half reboot it, don't. That's worse. And pick somebody new. Go with your bad story idea for Daredevil, but don't bring Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio in. So yes, I'm glad that they brought Karen and Foggy back, but again, only for a short amount of time. Obviously Foggy died. We can do our faces like, oh my gosh, he might come back because of that one comic run. I do think that Ellie denies it, but I don't want it to be true. I don't want it to be true. I also feel her sentiment.
Really, you'd rather he would stay dead?
I don't want him to come back. I want him to be that ploy of mourning for Matt and kind of that feeling that we got a glimpse of in episode 4 with Frank. But they're going to bring him back because of that one comic run and because he's such a beloved character. And somehow, some way, that scene is going to be... okay. I ranted about it in our sub-episodes when we talked about our reviews for 1 through 3, blah, blah, blah. The meaning behind it that we discovered in 8 and 9 makes a little more sense to why Dex is out and why he shot up that bar. But also it doesn't. Because he could have just taken out Foggy, taken out his client, because that was the thing that was in Vanessa's way. But then he gets down off of his sniper position, walks into the bar and starts shooting them up. And maybe that was his craziness. You know, he's not really a sane person, but he's also not stupid. And then that doesn't justify the opening scene of the show, which again was definitely thrown together because we needed a oneer. We needed a fight scene before Daredevil doesn't put on the costume until episode 5 or 6, technically 6. So it just felt like key jingling all over again. And a very shoehorned way to be like, yeah, Dex is back. And yeah, we explained it, but it wasn't that great of an explanation. Vanessa's intentions were good and made sense. Like, she didn't want her illegal trade through the Freeport to be found out. And Foggy was onto her in an unknown way. I get that. But it just seemed like they needed shock value for the first episode. Mm-hmm. And also, why did Karen have to be in San Diego or wherever she was, San Francisco? They really sidelined her. And the only part she played in episode 9 was calling Frank to say, Matt needs you, which that worked, but then she's gone. And we could have had that interaction the whole season. He could have still been pushing her away, but she could have had her own storyline. Give us another Karen episode where she has kind of her you get her perspective of this whole situation, and she's ranting to her girlfriends that she's made. You know, she's trying to build community because of her trauma that she's experienced with losing Foggy and all of this stuff that we saw in the original show. And then she's just like, yeah, going through it. Maybe she even meets Heather. Maybe she becomes Heather's. I mean, everyone's Heather's client, honestly. And just processes some of this stuff before just showing up. Because also, I don't think it's explained why she shows up in episode 9. Besides,
well, they say Kirsten called her, didn't? Or I forgot what.
Yeah, right. No, just kidding. I don't know. It just seems like they're doing what I'm doing now, is writing up a tie between something to explain it away. And yet my explanation isn't good enough for a Disney level TV show, and they still went with it. They went with those connections. So, golly.
Again, most of that's because of the whole pre-post overhaul mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. And
really the purpose of the first episode was to explain why Foggy and Karen weren't in the rest of
exactly.
it. So
I think I said that to you when it first released. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this can't be it. This can't be why They didn't kill Foggy and have Karen move out of state, across country, honestly, just to have them out of the way. And they did. They did do that. And it makes me so mad because I understand delays are going to happen, but I think they should be more accepted. I understand that studios need to make money. Mm-hmm. But if they had scrapped 2 through 7 of the original plot and story and started fresh, even keeping 1 through 8, but building different storylines, it would have been great. But they had to get something out soon. Yeah. They had to get it out fast. And we weren't going to wait another 2 years.